In this video, we're going to talk about access lids and how they factor when it comes to odour control. G'day Dale, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
So access lids, when you think of odour control, you don't necessarily think of that straight away. What is an access lid? How does it factor in here?
Okay, well, in many circumstances, especially in pump stations and treatment plants, there are components underground in the wet wells or in the inlet works that need to be worked on. And staff need to be able to access those components to be able to do maintenance and other required work when needed, and they need to be able to do that safely. So there need to be points where these places can be opened up.
Okay, I was driving, this is dead set, I was driving along a road in Sydney, Terry Hills or somewhere, and there was a bloke hitching.
Okay. And
he had a hat and all the safety equipment, and we picked him up, and he said that he had opened a hatch and gone down into a sewerage pipe, which he was walking along to actually check out. They'd shut off the water, I think.
Yep.
Is this what we're talking about?
In some cases, yes, but we would mainly be supplying access covers that are on pump stations and treatment plants and inlet works. But,
okay, so more
yes,
likely...
We could access it
that kind
at
of
the pipe, yeah, but the smaller ones, yeah.
Okay, good. So what sort of issues come up when we're talking about common access cover issues?
Look, access covers have come a long way recently. We actually work with a company in the States quite closely that manufacture our covers for us. They control 70% of the market in the States and Europe. Right. And we're very happy with their product, and we couldn't find a product that was comparable over here, which is why we work with them. It's really high quality. Okay. The main things are safety when it comes to access covers, and they're the things that we really concentrate on taking care of. Also, we like to have a good seal around the cover to stop any odorous air from escaping. Mm-hmm. And we don't want anything to be too heavy and cumbersome. We want it all to be easy to work with, and we want the guys to be able to lift it up without having to try too hard. And,
yep.
So we make sure that our products comply to all that.
What happens when access lids go wrong?
Well, that could be very dangerous. A fall into a wet well or into an inlet works could be...
when you say wet well, by the way, you're talking about falling into something you wouldn't want to fall into.
No, I mean, it would be very messy and quite possibly fatal. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually, this is really very important.
Yeah, they're a very important part of
talk to me, appreciate that, mostly in these videos we stay a little bit apolitical, but in this case we do work with a company called OdourPro, part of the Bulbeck Enviro group.
Yes.
What is some of the advantages of our access covers versus some of the ones you've seen along the way from competitors and so on?
Well, the main advantage is we back all our covers with a lifetime warranty against corrosion and anything else that may go wrong. So that's something that no one else tends to do. We limit anything that needs to be lifted to 20 kilos, and we have a great fall arrest system that is always in place, and it just makes it impossible for anyone to go through any of our covers, and just makes them totally safe.
So fall arrest means we catch you before you go anywhere you don't want to go?
We have a safety grate system under all our covers that will not allow anyone to fall down that penetration or hole. Okay,
so that issue, which was to say people can actually get really hurt, goes away when you use one of
them.
Yeah,
exactly. In the past, they used to use things like ropes, and people would cable onto poles, and it was quite dangerous and quite cumbersome. But we've taken all that away with this safety grate system that we now use.
In particular, how do access covers help when it comes to managing odour?
Okay, if the access cover has gaps or places where air can escape, then that's just another leak point for odorous air, and that's something that we really want to avoid. So our access covers have a seal always around the outside, which closes down and compresses with a slam lock. So we make sure that everything's airtight, so we can really contain all the odorous air inside the pump station, inlet works, or wherever else it may be.
You also just mentioned lockable.
Yep.
I'm imagining that you don't want the wrong person to get inside these things.
No, and they're always slip resistant on the top. They're always locked. They're slam locked. They're locked with padlocks. Everything's flush, so there's no trip points. Safety is something we really concentrate on. We make sure that that's something we've really taken care of with our covers.
Dale, we've spoken about the safety aspects of access covers. We've also spoken about the odour control aspects. I want to talk about the compliance aspects now. I know there are thousands of these things around Australia, and some of them are kind of an accident waiting to happen. Talk to me about the sort of Sydney or international, sorry, I should say the Australian or international compliance aspects.
Yeah, there are heavy compliances on access covers, and there are a lot of companies that do try to manufacture these things and meet them compliances, but we definitely meet all compliances, not only in Australia but also internationally. So As I said, I think I've repeated myself many times, we really concentrate on that safety aspect of these covers and make sure that, that's something that that is our main focus, to make sure that the staff that work around these things are going to be safe and taken care of.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense, especially when you said people can fall in and get really hurt.
Yes.
Makes sense. All right, terrific. Well, look, thank you so much for your insight when it comes to access covers.
My
for those of you who'd like to find out more, please visit us online at bulbeckenviro.com.au. Feel free to send us an email, give us a call. We're always happy to help.